This page displays all the employment requests contracts that have been received from the Saudi Recruitment Office. Each record is associated with its current status as displayed in the colored tag and its detailed contract information, including the contract number, the visa number, the employer name and ID, the candidate name. If user clicks on the candidate name, then the user would be redirected to view the detailed information of the candidate. User can also view the job or the occupation of the candidate under this contract and the nationality of the candidate, the name of the PRO, and the status of the payment, whether it is paid by the private recruitment office or unpaid, and the creation date of the contract. As we see here, the status of the contract is EPRO approval, meaning that the request was received by the private recruitment office and it is waiting for my action as an EPRO to either approve the contract or reject the contract. User can then scroll down to view all the contract details, including the contract parties, the employer information, the candidate information, and employment details, including the city of work, the issuing authority, the salary details, and the PRO and employer signed contract. User can click on this image to view the signed contract image. A user can now, after taking a look of all the contract details, user can take an action for this pending contract by either approving the contract or rejecting it. If user clicks on reject button, then the contract status would turn to rejected. And if the user clicks on the approve button, user should be able to upload the signed contract by the EPRO and the candidate. If user uploads the contract, then the status would turn to EPRO approved. In case EPRO wants to send this contract for foreign MOL for their approval, then the EPRO can click on the send to foreign MOL button so that the contract would be turned to the foreign MOL account for their approval. In Pakistan country, actually the case for the foreign MOL is auto approval. So once the external office, the Pakistani office, approves the employment request, then the Foreign Ministry of Labour would automatically approve the contract. So the contract status would turn to foreign MOL approved, because as in the country rules, for the foreign MOL it is auto approval. As we see here, the contract status has been turned to foreign MOL approval. User can click on Notifications tab in order to view all the statuses that the contract has been through, starting from the first status from the bottom, which is EPRO approval, and for each status is associated with its logs, including the office who has taken the action, the date of the action, and the time of the action. Reaching to the current state at the upper side, we have the current state is the foreign MOL approval, and the action was taken by the EPRO at this specific date and time. In case the contract status was EPRO approved, or foreign MOL approval, or foreign MOL approved, then the EPRO should be able to cancel the contract by clicking on the cancel button. After that, user should insert a cancellation reason by selecting a value from the drop-down list. If user clicks on cancel, then the cancellation request would be sent to the PRO for approval, because in case the cancellation occurs in one of these statuses, then the cancellation should be mutual, meaning the approval should be stated by the two parties, which are PRO and the EPRO. If the cancellation request was approved by the private recruitment office, then the contract would turn to cancelled. Otherwise, the contract status would remain the same. User can also filter the employment request list by sorting the values by either the newest or oldest. User can also search for a specific employment requests under specific occupations. User can also search for employment requests by specifying the city of work of the candidate and gender of the candidate, whether male or female, or by directly searching the PRO name, payment status, whether paid or unpaid, or by specific keywords. If user through this filter, which is the keywords, user can search for any value that is available in the contract details. So this is basically acts as a search engine where user can type, for example, the visa details or the passport number of the candidate. After that, the system would filter the results of the list based on the user's selection. User can also search the employment requests by entering the employer ID or contract number or the visa number. User can easily search for specific requests by specifying the desired statuses to be shown. For example, user can select one status to search for or multi-selection of the statuses. Regarding the filter by section of the filtration bar, in case PRO select one of the statuses appeared in the left-hand side of the drop-down menu, system would display employment requests that ever had the selected status during the entered date. So if one of the statuses was selected, then user should also select the desired date in order to display the employment request that ever had the selected status during the entered date. In case PRO selects the creation date option, which is the last value from the drop-down list, then a system would display all the employment requests that created during the entered date. In case PRO selects the last action date tab, then the system would display employment requests that ever had last action during the entered date. For example, if I click on the status foreign MOL approved and I select the desired date range, then system would display employment requests that ever had the status foreign MOL approved during this specified date.